Hello there and welcome to Legal Break. I'm Maureen Akers and with us today is Gary Bruce. Thank you so much for joining us, Gary, as always.
Good to be here again. Thank you.
Great to have you. And today's a big day. We have a new justice on the Supreme Court and there's a lot of decisions, or a very important one happening today. Tell us a little bit about that and how it might affect.
Today's the bellwether,
yeah.
I think. He started this week hearing oral argument. Apparently he's very engaged with the lawyers, asking questions and wanting to hear their responses, maybe being a little snarky at times from what I read. But today's a big deal. It's the Trinity Lutheran versus Comer case out of Missouri. And this is going to be kind of what all the argument was about. The Trinity Lutheran wanted to participate in a state-provided program that put a rubberized covering on playgrounds. Trinity Lutheran ran a religious school.
Right.
The state of Missouri said, no, this is for non-religious organizations, and there has to be a separation of church and state. Then at what point do we not start to fund things for churches? So it's been upheld to the Supreme Court, and now the Supreme Court's going to hear this. Does a church have a right to participate in government programs versus should the government stay out of church business?
Right.
And then what's the slippery slope is at where do you stop?
Right.
In the meantime, Missouri's actually said we're not going to exempt churches, they can have this stuff too. So that's impacted things. But I think what we're going to learn, not to go, was all the fuss worth it? And what's going to happen, and where is Neil Gorsuch going to impact?
Right, right. Very good. So there are other cases coming up fairly soon too that can be impactful, right?
There really are. There's one involving the cake. You know, we've heard about that all the last year, about can I refuse to make a cake for a gay wedding?
Right.
And that's what that's about. And the issue really comes down to this. Are gay and lesbians a protected class? Is sexual preference a protected class like race, age, those kind of things that we have agreed as a nation that we will protect? That's going to be at issue. That's going to be argued soon. This summer ought to be an interesting summer when we see decisions coming out of the new court.
Real quickly, what else can we expect out of our new justice?
You know, I think he's going to be an interesting, somewhat of a lightning rod. He wants to be an originalist. You know, he wants to step into the shoes of Scalia. And Scalia had a somewhat contorted view of the Constitution, where he felt like he could somehow channel the founding fathers and their meanings to these words. Well, we'll see if Neil Gorsuch can do that too.
Very good. Fascinating days ahead. Thank you so very much for joining us today on Legal Break, and I look forward to seeing you on the very next one.